Hey, what's up? Zach here, and today I've got the Nike KD4 Nerf, which is a shoe I've wanted to get on the channel. People have been requesting the KD4, but I also didn't want to spend an arm and a leg on the KD4 at resale. And that actually brings me to today's sponsor, which is POIZON, where I actually got these sneakers from. I actually get quite a few of my shoes from POIZON, even when they aren't sponsoring the video, because I already use them for authenticity checks on my shoes, like the Nike Kobe 4 Gold Medal Edition. That video I did on those, I actually ran those through the POIZON Legit check before I made that video. So I know when I'm buying a shoe for the channel, and my reputation as a reviewer depends on me getting 100% authentic shoes, I can be rock solid confident in my purchase. Most of the time when I'm looking for a shoe, I always look directly with POIZON first, and then with POIZON's super strict quality control and verification before delivery, I can save a lot of time worrying and going around trying to verify a shoe's authenticity. And as a lot of you know, a lot of times on this channel, I gotta get my hands on some pretty unique shoes that other retailers either don't have in stock or have at such crazy high prices that it makes the video cost prohibitive to do. Plus, with their fast shipping, frequent discounts on over 400 brands from across the globe, and premium packaging, I am not getting bent and messed up sneakers on arrival, so I can be pretty confident I'll have a pristine shoe to show off in my videos. Plus, one of the best things about ordering from POIZON is that each pair comes with an authentication card and anti-counterfeiting buckles. This guarantees you're getting the real deal, so you can, comfortably and confidently show off your shoes. And in case you're looking for apparel to match with these KD4 Nerfs or really any other colorway that suits you, POIZON has just as wide of a selection of clothing and apparel as they do shoes. So no matter what you're looking for, make sure to check out my link in the description below and use code ZACH for up to $10 off your order. Thanks to POIZON for sponsoring this video. Let's get into the uppers. Now, starting off with my all-time favorite accessory in any shoe you could ever get. I'm sure most of you that watch this channel a lot know where I'm going. The KD4s always have a near and dear place to my heart with the dorsal retention strap. This one, honestly, is really fantastic because it incorporates the lace line into the dorsal retention strap, and the straps actually go all the way across into the very central part of the foot, right? So it's right smack dab center in your arch. So this thing really does pull from a few different places in the shoe. So when you're actually pulling that dorsal retention strap in the uppers, it is locking you in the shoe. You actually are feeling it. This thing gives quite a great lockdown. Heel slippage on these is pretty mild, especially for a shoe that doesn't really have a runner's knot, although the last lace eyelet does come up pretty high and vertical. So even for a shoe, look in the ankle collar, the padding in the ankle collar isn't super bulky. This is more of a, trying to thread that needle between minimalist shoe as well as maximalist containment. So it does a really nice job, especially because the second to last lace eyelet actually is this interior cuffed lace eyelet. So it does pull a little bit more material around you. And honestly, the KD4s do this better than a lot of modern day shoes, keeping the shoe light, pretty minimalist feeling, but also locking you down really well. Now, speaking of that lockdown, going through the lace line, as you can see, these are all reinforced, which is fantastic. The tongue on these things, actually pretty thin, although I didn't have any lace irritation because it's pretty bulky, coming up toward the anterior ankle. It really gets thin toward the distal tongue. Now, what is not flimsy by any means is all this like solid TPU paneling throughout the entire forefoot. And then it's got meshing here in the midfoot. Now, this is right where that dorsal retention strap comes up over. So if you look at these things on the breathability test, this was nuts. They only heated up 99.1 degrees. Now, I don't know of any other shoe that has this much solid backing on it where there is just no heat or moisture getting out of anywhere can get that low of a heating score just because the heat was coming out of everywhere else in the shoe. You look at the breathability mapping, tells the same story. Fog is just getting out of everywhere in the shoe except the distal forefoot. So there's enough breathing in here that you can get all of this kind of, really tough backed material in the forefoot, but still keep it pretty just feeling light and breezy. Look at these things on the upper durability test, 10 seconds highest grit sandpaper. What's interesting is it almost looks like that gobstopper shoe. When the burr kind of hits it, it goes green, then yellow. It does not get through the drag guard, but it does make an impression on it. I'm wondering if that's intentional. Potentially because it does, like I said, go to different colors in there and no one would ever see it unless you're scuffing them up. I'd say if you're keeping these on an indoor court, dragging and sliding, they're gonna do pretty well. And on outdoor courts, you're probably gonna get a pretty funky, I don't know, maybe pretty cool looking forefoot of your shoe. All right, but getting into the midsole teardown, this was interesting. The Strobel board on these is super thick. Actually accounts for 3 millimeters of stack height on these, so it is pretty substantial. The thing is while they're new, it's gonna feel super plush, but once it bottoms, that's when you're gonna feel the Phylon underneath it. Now this Phylon is super springy, super elastic. It feels like it's got some pop to it, which is awesome. Like I said, the profile of it's going to change once you break in the strobo board. And in the forefoot, you've got a pretty thin zoom air unit. It does go across the metatarsal heads. To me, this entire midsole setup is meant to feel just super quick, responsive, and bouncy. And to that end, I think it does a pretty good job. We'll talk about in the fit section kind of what you got to do to augment that. You look at this thing on the bounce height test. It's pretty interesting. 35 centimeters in the rear foot, 45 in the forefoot. That's what we're used to seeing with Phylon, as well as this level of zoom air. Remember, in addition to that foam and air setup, I didn't even talk about the shank yet. The shank actually crosses a zone. It also crosses all the way from lateral to medial. And it is pretty, it's pretty substantial plastic. It is double thickness in one area, and then it goes single thickness in the rest of it. But like I said, it does take up so much surface area on the bottom of the shoe that when you are, bending it, when you're kind of up on the balls of your feet and kind of dorsiflexing, at the metatarsal phalangeal joints or the ball of your foot, you can really feel this shoe kind of spring to action, right? You can even see it on the on the teardown version of the shoe when it's not even completed. This shoe, like I said, when you're starting to bend it, that's when it really comes to life, when you're using those metaphalangeal joints or the ball of your foot, when you're really kind of bending in there and activating the forefoot of the shoe. That's when these things kind of really spring to life. And getting into the outsole tread, this is one continuous bed of lightning bolt patterns, and then it is broken up, kind of its strategic break points. This is chunky tread. The lateral flange just has flat rubber on there, but it is broken up by these break points. So it's not completely continuous, and that's what gives it enough grip there. This is a clip flange on here. Really, really good stopping power in the shoe. Then right under the ball of your foot, it's got these linear treads, which I thought was kind of nice for, kind of pivoting on the inside of your foot. We've seen some models recently of shoe where I've gone to pivot medially and then I kind of slip out, whereas on these ones, it actually has some strategic break points in there to give you a little bit more there, which I thought was really nice. I think this thing on the grip test ramp slips at 41 degrees. And yeah, I kind of felt that on court. These were really, really sure-footed, never had one bit of slippage whatsoever. But like I said, because the shoes have these break points in there, it moves easily. It also is not sticking to the court either. So in terms of traction, kind of grip and ease of grip, stopping power, kind of everything, the KD4 does outperform most modern day Nikes by a country mile or a country kilometer, wherever you are in the world. So yeah, I mean, you look at these things on the speed ratio, tells the same tale. 2.81, shank score of 0.2, bumps that up to a 3.01. Yeah, I definitely think they belong in the threes. They are quick shoes. They're quick feeling shoes, quick to get up off the ground, quick to kind of like, same like with pickleball moves, right, too, just like kind of quick, side steps, things like that. Quick, step back, side steps. I mean, really, you really can do most things in them in terms of trying to get speed, whether it be coast to coast or in a contained area. Now, you look at this thing on the outsole durability test, 10 seconds highest grit sandpaper. This is interesting. It has a 19.5 durometer, so it's harder rubber. It still sticks really well, showing you that the rubber science is there. But I mean, not even a millimeter of damage, almost. I mean, it definitely scuffed it up. But also because this tread is so chunky, I think you can take these outdoors. I would watch dragging and sliding a lot, producing a ton of heat and friction just because the tread depth isn't super thick, but I definitely think you can take them outdoors. The fit of these and kind of the fit profile of them, that's what is going to kind of determine if you're going to want to take them outdoors or not, which we'll get to in the next section. All right, so with that being said, let's get into the fit of the fours. Now, number one, they do have a 16-degree inflare. You can see it. They inflare pretty good in the forefoot. But the thing is, they have a 28.9 centimeter length and 9.4 centimeter metatarsal width, 10 centimeter toe box width, and then a 26-degree taper. So from the metatarsals to the toes, a little bit more tapered, but the toe box isn't as tapered. Plus, they're just a little bit more of a forgiving shoe in terms of metatarsal width. Now, the one thing is with all the plastic in the forefoot, it's not going to break in terms of width-wise, in terms of the toe box, as much as something else would be with that's just a woven or like a TPU mesh. But it is a light enough upper, and there is mesh in the midfoot to where, you can kind of dial in how much you want these to lock, to cinch down around your foot. What I noticed is my foot, if I was really hot, humid day, the one day I had them in here, it was really, really hot and humid. And that's when I kind of could feel my foot pushing against these. But yesterday, it was like in the high 60s Fahrenheit, and I was fine, didn't even really feel them. They were super comfortable. So I'd say a narrow medium foot, you can go true to size. A 2E, you can go true to size on these if you don't have a tailor's bunion or a really prominent styloid, but because they lock down so well, you just go up a half size. A 4E, if you want a performance fit, I'd say go up 1/2 size, get that weight reduction. If you don't care, you just want more room, go up that 1 size. Now, in terms of the snake bitten foot, like I said, it is a little bit of a mirage on these things because of how plush the strobel board is in these things. So I would say they're fine for, heel pain, ball of foot pain, arch pain especially. With an orthotic in them, heel pain and ball of foot pain, I think they're fine even without an orthotic because the Zoom Air is pretty widespread. It's okay. I'd just say like for heel pain, Achilles tendonitis, you probably will want even just a low profile orthotic in these will really, really kind of do the job. Just something so that you're not really relying on the strobel board over the lifetime of the shoe. In terms of arch pain and arch strain, these are one of the best shoes out there just because the shank on them wide. Right, it covers the whole shoe. I know when I was kind of doing those press downs on it, this was a really easy one to kind of go down and come back up on because I just felt such, good support there. Plus the dorsal retention strap kind of, just creates a cocoon there. So I'd say anything like shock-induced bursitis, heel pain, Achilles tendonitis, like I said, throw a low profile orthotic in there. Honestly, I think something like the Power Step Bridge in these is one of the better ones because this has the shank, this has the arch support already, just needs something maybe just a little bit more pillowy, feel to it. And then for everything else, it's pretty good. Getting into the performance of the KD4s, yeah, I think I kind of alluded to it throughout the whole video. I thought these performed better than most of Nike's present day shoes. I'd say these ones, LeBron 21, 22, Sabrina's, yeah, that's kind of the pinnacle of the Nike lineup right now. Like I said, the KD4, super quick, going, up for layups and just super easy. Right? For a shoe this, low profile, getting up and down was so easy. Step back, side steps, really easy. Pickleball, really fun to play. These are actually a really sneakily good pickleball shoe just for how much they snap, right? And just how easy it is to pivot, sidestep, and kind of move in a contained area. So I can see why these are so popular still, and I can see why, this was one of Kevin Durant's early models and kind of a classic model of his, because they just they really outperform their weight and they outperform their profile. That's kind of the thing. And I think if you can get them, at a reasonable price, like I said, with, POIZON, the sponsor of today's video, I think then, yeah, these are definitely a great pickup and I think a better pickup than even some shoes, in today's game. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you want to see what I'm talking about with the modern day, Durant signature line, the KD17, make sure you click into either of these videos up above and subscribe down below. Thanks again to POIZON for sponsoring this video. Like I said, if you want to check out a pair of these, I will leave a link in the description below. And make sure you use my discount code for up to $10 off. Respect your rubber and foam. I'll see you somewhere in the sneakerverse.